Welcome to Random Respawn. This is the first ever podcast. It's where Marshall Beringer and myself, Joshua Chagani, talk about games, and then we will most likely get off topic. All right, Marshall, what's the first topic of today? What's going to get us started on this first ever podcast?
God, you're going to put all the pressure on me now. I was going to say, what have you been playing lately? Like, what have you been doing?
I mean, aside from working, I've been playing Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the Blanco Bruja.
Took you that long to figure that out in Spanish.
Bruja
right?
is
I'm so proud of you.
Is the Spanish for witch?
Keep your day job, Josh.
That's what I've been playing. I mean, everything that Miyazaki does is fantastic, and Studio Ghibli is just amazing. What about yourself, there, you handsome devil?
Oh, well, I just got my brand new PlayStation 3 the other day. Yes, it took me that long to finally get one. I know you've been ragging on me for so long, even though the PlayStation 3 still has no games. But regardless of that, I just beat today Uncharted for the first time.
Oh, yes. So you know that Sully dies in the end?
You're funny.
So how was it?
It felt like an opening PlayStation 3 title game. It kind of felt like it. Like this whole time, I'm like, yeah, this totally came out like in 2007. I could tell.
I don't think the first was that
I want to say it's a launch title. I want to say that.
I mean, I
could be wrong though.
It's definitely an old title, and I feel like if it didn't launch, that should have been one of the consoles that launched with it.
It was definitely one of the first ones to come out. That's for damn sure.
Well, I know when I got my PS3, I got it when I was in California during I think sophomore year of college, and it actually came with, it was a PS3 Slim, and it came with nice. Infamous and Uncharted, both pretty sweet games, and
that's a pretty good deal.
It was really good. I won't forget, we went to the hotel and we were playing in the hotel, but it had one of those really old CRTs. Like,
oh god!
Like I think it even had like a VHS player. This wasn't long ago at all. So
they still exist.
So we actually used the composite cables, not component, composite. So the yellow, red, and white. And Uncharted, my brother and I couldn't see anything on Uncharted. It was too dark. The text was super small. We had to sit super close to the television to see anything. And then I got back to school and we hooked it up to the LCD, and it was just a totally different game.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's like Dead Rising, originally for Xbox 360. I don't know if did that ever come out for the PlayStation 3?
No, I think that was just a 360 game.
Well, I remember specifically that was before I ever had my first HD TV when that game came out, and I remember specifically you couldn't read the text of the game because it was a non-HD television. Like that was an actual problem back in the day. Like, and to think we've come so far. I love it.
Our screens have become so flat.
Oh, God.
But still, oddly enough, if you were to watch standard definition programming on a newer TV, it would look worse than one of the really old cathode ray tube televisions. I don't get it. I mean, HD looks amazing, but if you were forced to always watch stuff in standard definition, don't use a plasma. It'll look worse than the really old TVs.
Yeah, I never understood the appeal of plasma, but regardless of that. As for Uncharted for beating that, I don't know. It was okay.
The second one's is better.
I figured as much. I figured that was going to be the case. But I guess that means I just have to start the second one, or I can go and try and play all the other God of War games again.
What do you mean? I'm curious about your plasma. Like in terms of technology, like in picture quality, I think personally, plasma has the best picture quality out of all the televisions.
Honestly, I'm not that much of a tech dude, so I mean, it's
right.
All really the same
that
to
makes
me.
sense. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. Ni no Kuni's been amazing. It's definitely a different game. It's kind of like they mixed Tales of Symphonia, which is there's a series of games. They're all Tales of games. And Tales of Symphonia was a game that came out on the GameCube that I played. And you would see enemies, and when you touch the enemies, the screen would freeze and like zoom in. But you could actually run around. You weren't fixed in a position like you were in Final Fantasy. And in Ni no Kuni, you can it's kind of like that where you see the enemies and you run into them and you can actually move around in the field, but like to attack them is more like in Final Fantasy 12 where you kind of like you say, hey, attack, and then the guy will automatically just keep attacking until his like attack bar kind of runs out, and then you can re-attack or defend and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting.
In a way, that kind of does sound like Kingdom Hearts. Maybe,
no, Kingdom Hearts is more of a hack and slash. I mean, you know, you're mashing the X button and jumping and stuff like that. You never play. Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts. It's not like when you see the enemies, you'd kind of like run and just fight them. It didn't go into the
okay.
You know, it wasn't like when you're walking through tall grass in Pokemon, and then it just freezes and goes. Blew, 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 blew.
That fucking tall grass. I swear to God. Ugh, so many evil memories of that. I just want to get to town. That's all I want to do. I don't care anything else. I don't want to die or rather faint. I just want to get to town.
I honestly did not know that Repel made it so that Pokemon wouldn't jump out at you. I mean, I was pretty young when Pokemon came out, so I just didn't get.
Wait, whoa. Back the fun bus up.
I was in 5th grade. I mean, you were 3 years older than everyone in 5th grade already, so.
Yeah, you're fine.
But no, I didn't know Repel would make it so you could easily walk through a cave without a Zubat coming to attack you. I just didn't. So people would give you Repel and things like that, and I would never use it because I just didn't understand what it did.
Yeah. Anyway, I also beat God of War Ascension.
Oh, that came out. Prequel. Well, it's technically the sequels, prequels, prequel.
Hold on, I got to think about that.
I think
you're right. I honestly don't. I don't really know. I mean, there were two other prequels for the PSP. There was Chains of Olympus and then Ghost of Sparta. I don't know where in Ascension that timeline takes place because I still know all three of those games take place before the first one. It's just a matter of where chronologically that
for some reason I actually thought that not Chains of Olympus, but the Sparta was it Ghost of Sparta? Was it the Spartan one? Something.
Is it the one with the younger, meaner, bearded
I thought
brother?
one of those. Yeah,
AKA
for some reason I thought one of those took place between 1 and 2. But I could be way wrong.
Actually,
I know
right.
that Ascension is supposed to take place before every one of them.
Okay, I think it goes Ascension, Chains of Olympus 1, then Ghost of Sparta, then
2 and 3,
then 3,
literally start right after. Cool. So yeah, I think that's the way.
So yeah, Ares already killed. I mean, wow, Ares. Ares kills himself.
That's how it ends. Kratos has a very stern talking with, and Ares is like, "I can't take it anymore," and then he kills himself.
He's right. What have I done with myself? It's like Mass Effect, except it's better. Oh, Mass Effect. Well, no, let's not go into that discussion of how that franchise is committing suicide. See, the second one is more of a third-person cover shooter with light RPG-ish elements with like the dialogue tree type stuff, but the first one behaved more like a traditional third-person shooter. Like there was still cover and all that stuff, but there was a lot more options for your abilities. Like you can bring up all of your abilities at once. Like you had, instead of like your teammate having like one or two abilities that they can do, you literally brought up the dial tree of all their crap that they can do. It was fantastic.
Yeah, because it was Mass Effect was made by BioWare, right? And they also did Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, and that's what you could do. You could like pause in the middle of battle and.
Can I just say they've fallen so far since that game? It's so depressing.
Well, I don't know. It's like I wouldn't say that because they made some great, like Knights of the Old Republic was amazing. They technically didn't make the second Knights of the Old Republic. Someone else did.
Fair enough. But they did make Dragon Age Origins, which, that was a pretty damn decent game.
Yeah, and everyone loves Mass Effect 1 and 2. And they also did Jade Empire, which I never played. I don't even know.
I heard Jade Empire was pretty damn good. I never played it. I need to go back and try and find a copy of it. I think that was for the original Xbox.
It was, yeah. Yeah, wow. It was for the original Xbox. So I will say that I think BioWare was great for a long time until they were purchased by another company.
You mean EA? Sadly.
I do mean EA.
Yeah.
It's in the game. Or is that 2K Games?
No, that's still EA. That's EA Sports. It's in the game.
It's in the game.
It's in the game. Yeah, that's a weird habit that everyone that gets into bed with EA, just has to do that walk of shame. Just it's true though. How many freaking companies now have been absorbed by that evil mass of destruction that is Electronic Arts?
Yeah, they definitely have a poor track record in the eyes of gamers.
They were kind of awesome back in the day, but they just been consistently just shitty over the past couple of years.
Oh,
like even worse than Activision, and I don't really like Activision at all.
Activision came out with Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I know.
Oh, that was a great game.
Way back in the day.
You know, I think Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and 3 got a perfect 10 on GameSpot.
Yeah, I believe it.
The second one you could play as Spider-Man. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. It is. He had his own move list and everything. It was
it was great. I have a Spotify playlist where I have a lot of the songs back from the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games just because they were amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I got rid of some of the ones I didn't care for, but it's some of those songs are pretty awesome.
It's kind of depressing though. Looking back, it's like, yeah, we had it good back then. Now it's just, if Tony Hawk 2, or which one that had Spider-Man, was it 2 or 3?
It was 2. 2 had Spider-Man.
If 2 came out now, Spider-Man would be a DLC character.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's really interesting. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, unless it came out for Nintendo,
and then any extra parks would be DLC, and it's just.
That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that downloadable content. That's
and hey, bringing that back to Electronic Arts, that's pretty much what they've been doing.
It probably would. It would have been on disc DLC. Like it would have
shipped like Capcom. Yeah.
Well, the Mortal Kombat did that too, which really made me sad. But
wait. Who was on that disc for Mortal Kombat? As in the new one, right?
Right. The new Mortal Kombat. I don't think that any of the characters were on the disc, but I am pretty certain that all of the alternate costumes for the characters that were already there were on the disc, and then if you had to pay to unlock it.
I think there was one character, just her model though. It was the first DLC character. What's her face? Who was red?
Blood?
Yeah.
No, Jade? No. Blood. It's not Scarlet.
There we go.
I'm like, what's red? I'm like, Red Baron. I was like, I couldn't figure it out.
We had a collective brain fart there. That's okay. But I remember people kind of freaked out that she apparently was in the CD of the game, but as it turned out, it was just her character and just a basic move set. Like they hadn't fleshed her out at all. It was just simply to make life a little bit easier for later down the road when they actually completed her for DLC, which, that's okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that Reptile was actually in the original Mortal Kombat?
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Was he in the acid or something, or was he?
Oh no, he was like a combination of Scorpion and I think Sub-Zero back in the day, but he was like an actual special character. He was still named Reptile back in the day. He was the Green Ninja still. Okay. But it was a special thing where you had to play on the pit level. Oh, we're the one where if you do the fatality, you uppercut the dude into the spike pit.
Yeah.
You had to do that on you had to play that level specifically, and something had to go by the moon. I think it was like a witch or something. And if you did it, and if you beat that as well with perfects, both rounds, something like that, the next fight would immediately be you fighting Reptile at the bottom of that pit.
I know that they did something similar like that for the new Mortal Kombat with the witch flying in front of the moon. In front of the moon, yeah.
Oh yeah, they did that for kicks.
For kicks,
yeah, just as a nod to the original version of that.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So you got anything else besides Ni no Kuni?
Right now, no. I just beat Darksiders.
Oh, that's right.
The first Darksiders. That was the noise that. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did hear that. I was very confused.
That was a rubber chicken.
Why do you have a rubber chicken for this podcast?
Yeah,
this is our first podcast. We don't need props. We're not that desperate.
I don't. Okay, so I'm actually
What are you doing?
I'm not. I'm not. It's the dog. I'm house sitting for my boss, and I'm actually at his house right now, and he's got a golden retriever, and the golden retriever's favorite toy is a rubber chicken that squeaks.
Oh God, that's
and
great.
so he's playing with the rubber chicken right now. Yeah, no, I beat Darksiders. It was okay. I didn't like it that much, but I didn't hate it. I just thought it was I thought the camera was terrible a lot of the time, especially like when I would target somebody. And War he just wasn't that interesting. I thought he was just like he's like the seventh seal wasn't broken, and like he was just very serious and just didn't. To me, he didn't seem to have that much personality. If
he was a giant wall of meat with a big ass sword. You don't need a whole lot to it.
And that's fine too, but I mean, Uthane he was even bigger and more meaty, and he was a way cooler character. Not because he was Irish, but because he just seemed like a cooler character. But he's like Abaddon. It's like I don't know. It was okay.
Just
but it was
okay. Wasn't bad, wasn't great, just okay.
Right? Yeah, I agree, and I did complete that one all the way, which is something that I've kind of been doing recently. I don't know. It's just if I can complete a game like in one playthrough, then a lot of times I'll do it. It's the games where they're like, all right, now you have to beat it again on this difficulty, and then you have to beat it again on New Game Plus, and then it's some of those I probably don't do, but this one seemed pretty easy, and for the most part it was.
I feel like those games where it's the enjoyment of playing them again, I would think would be more like Metal Gear Rising, where A, it is actually harder, much harder, the higher the difficulty, but B, the enemy placement is different, like all sorts of stuff happens, and it's just, oh God, that game is such a brutal pain in the ass, but I love it.
Yeah, no, stuff like that I can definitely enjoy. But it's like games like Infamous, where where you can choose to go light or dark. A lot of times I'll go neutral for most of the game, and then like at a pivotal point, like I'll make a new save, and then on one I'll go terrible, and then the other one I'll go good. Yeah, I
don't know. For me, for games where you can have a choice to be like either Mother Teresa or Hitler, it's only one of the two. You can't usually do something down the middle, but usually those type of games, I always stick with the good side. I don't know. I don't like being a douchebag in real life, and I don't really like being a douchebag in a game. I don't know why. I'm weird. But I always just stick with being on the good side, and then if I ever play the game again, I rarely ever go to the dark side. Like I just stick with the good side. I don't know why.
Apparently there was a study, and most European countries, they'll go to the dark side, whereas most Americans will go to the light side.
Really?
Yeah.
It's because
people
of the
across
communists.
the pond. Yeah, because London is known for communism.
Yeah, those fucking commies everywhere, man. Those fucking commies.
Those commies in Ireland, because the Irish are known for their communist leaders.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you know that?
Yeah, because Marx was Irish,
man. Oh yeah, he totally was. That's how he made all of his manifestos. He was shit-faced when he did it.
The Communist Manifesto was done over Bailey's inside of a pub.
He's actually the one who invented Bailey's. Don't you know?
That's right. That was actually the good and evil. That's one of the reasons why I liked Catherine so much. Was it was a choice game, and the choices you made affect what happened, but in a way that wasn't like, it didn't punish you. It wasn't like good or bad. I mean, some choices seemed better or worse, but they were just choices. I mean, that's just what they were. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, if you beat the game and you cheated on your current girlfriend and like fell in love with the other person or whatever, it's not, I mean, most people would say that was bad, but it's not. The game didn't really punish you. That was just the choice you made in that game.
Gotta love those moral gray areas.
Yeah, and there were actually a lot of them, and it was cool because you'll make choices, and then it'll move your karma meter or whatever, and occasionally, like, something will happen, and the main character Vince, who you play as, kind of like is like freaking out, and then your karma meter will pop up and then show you where it is, and then he will say something that is basically dependent on the choices that you've made up to that point. So it's kind of neat. So it's not like, the choice you make right this second is what's going to happen. It'll actually affect dialogue later on in the game.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool game.
See, I don't know how I would feel, though, about the karma meter being shown actually, like, changing. See, that's why I can never really get in too much with the Mass Effect series. Like, that's why I kind of stopped at 1. Because I was never a huge fan of just the game constantly reminding you of, hey, this is the good choice or this is the bad choice. Like, and that's why I think I appreciate The Witcher 2 a lot more, because A, it's a morally gray as fuck game. Like, there's really no, like, super good and super bad. It's just all a bunch of just evil crap going on. But B, I just appreciate it more where, like, it gives you no indication whether or not this is a good choice or a bad choice. It's just simply you have these options and that's it.
No, I completely agree, but it doesn't show you the options. It shows you after you've made the decision. So it's not like in Mass Effect. It's not in parentheses next to the word and be like, this is the Renegade version.
This is the blue color and this is the red color.
Right? No, not at all. It's just you just make the choice and then it'll pop up and be like, that was this. This is how it affects it.
I almost feel like
so like afterwards
they shouldn't actually show that. Like,
I see,
until the very end of the game and then show you where your karma was at.
You could, but it was kind of a nice touch to see, like, how, like, decisions you made several scenes ago. It was nice to see, like, the little thing pop up to show that the next thing that he's going to say was based on something that was based on a choice that you've already made. So it's not like right that second, which was kind of neat to me. I did enjoy it. I did. I had the fun.
Dreaming of sheep and then being chased by an evil creature while pushing blocks.
You weren't necessarily dreaming of sheep. You were actually a sheep.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, that was a crazy game.
Who made that game? Was that Grasshopper?
It was the same guys that made that one weird game.
There are many weird games. You got to be a little bit more specific for me.
Yep.
You can't also say it's a Japanese game, because that really a Japanese weird game that's like most of them. Come on.
Oh yeah, the one Japanese weird game. I honestly can't remember.
Suda51?
I know that studio. Whether or not they did the game, I don't remember. But
okay. Speaking of which, did you ever play Killer 7?
Yes, that was a fun one.
It's creepy. I never played that game. I had skipped it. I kind of regret it because I've just been recently watching a couple of videos on it. That's a creepy as fuck game.
It was. That was Killer 7. The same guys, didn't they do No More Heroes?
I think that is Suda51.
Yeah, with Travis Touchdown.
Yes, I think their next game is a spiritual successor to Killer 7. I think it's called Killer is Dead or something like that. So I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I've been trying to keep my ears open just to see if anything pops up. Because, hey, more of that kind of game, I'm down with it.
I getcha. I'm feeling you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and speaking of games, hey, it's March 26th. Do you know what that means?
4 days until International Board Game Day.
That's a holiday?
It's on the 30th. I was gonna go to the comic book shop and play some board games, but yeah, that's gonna happen. Yeah.
Fun facts, the more you know, but that's totally not what I was getting at today. BioShock came out. BioShock Infinite.
Oh yeah, specific. That's right. Yeah. I forgot that it came out today.
I haven't bought it yet.
Because all the reviews were coming out for it, and so I haven't. And even on Reddit, some people were posting stuff. I even feel like as of yesterday, they were posting some things. I didn't read any of them because I just want to play the game without knowing too much about it.
I love how you go to Reddit and I go to 4chan. That's unspeakable.
Really, Reddit is a watered down, not as up to date version of 4chan, but it's also way more censored. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes
4chan
sense.
is a wildly dangerous place. It is. Yeah, it's.
That's why I love it.
I mean, if you're willing to take that risk, and I'm I'm not much of a gambling man.
I don't blame you.
But if you can take that risk and venture into 4chan, especially in B, but I love how like 4chan actually has a lot of different types of forums. They have like a cooking,
Oh yeah, they've got
a ton of stuff, and no one knows about it. It's just basically like when you say 4chan, everyone reverts to B.
Yeah, I mean that's what everyone kind of just assumes what 4chan is. I mean, there's a whole lot there that is actually, God forbid, civilized discussion and stuff like what normal human beings do day to day, not like the drivel that comes out of B, or I like to call V now B 2.0, which sadly it's kind of turning into that.
Oh yeah.
I love them so much, but just goddamn it, guys, just stop being stupid.
It's that's why I wait for you to find like images of hilarious 4chan conversations and then send them to me, because I know that I'm safe with the stuff that you send me.
Hey man, I could send you all the terrible shit just
very easily
to freak you out. But no. But back to BioShock Infinite. I know you haven't bought it, and I know I certainly haven't bought it. But I wanted to bring that up just because I've been excited for it, but I didn't feel like I needed to pre-order it, because I mean I knew I was going to get on Steam, and I know some people out there hate Steam with an unyielding passion because of DRM and all that stuff. I mean, for me, Steam is just, hey, I haven't had problems with it, so until I have problems with it, I'll just keep using it.
But that's we'll talk about pre-purchasing and DRM, or digital rights management. But I don't think Valve, the company that makes Steam, can do any harm. They've only done amazing things, and the big thing about Steam is that you can play the game when it's offline. It syncs. You can download the game as many times as you want, as long as you're under your profile. And they have cloud syncing now, so it doesn't matter which computer you play on. If you bought the game for PC and they came out with a Mac version of it, you can download the Mac version for free. Like and then also like the sales that they have beat any sale basically anywhere. There are sites like Green Man Gaming and stuff like that.
Those sales, but Green Man Gaming is pretty good for that too.
It is, yeah. But but really with every computer game, I always feel like they've always registered it to your computer, so that doesn't seem like that much of an issue to me. I mean, if Steam had to always be on for me to play these games, you know what I mean? If
kind of like Diablo,
like Diablo or SimCity, or Assassin's Creed 2, I believe, for PC, where you had to always be on. Like if Valve started doing that with Steam, then I would have an issue, but they haven't.
Kind of like Far Cry 3 as well, where I have it on Steam. But in order for me to play it, I have to then, when I click on it to play it, I have to go then into Ubisoft's version of Steam /Origin / whatever the hell you call these things nowadays, to go into theirs to then play it. Like,
that is baloney.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of stopped playing that game. Well, it was all right. It was just a little bit mediocre. I got bored with it kind of quick, but it's just such a hassle just to try and fucking play a game. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, no, that's not cool at all. Like, no. I mean, but you can't like blame Steam for that when Ubisoft is kind of like they snuck around the Steam patrol.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of stuff is ridiculous. Let's talk about pre-ordering and
gotta love those pre-orders. I mean,
you think pre-ordering is a fad? Is it in or is it out?
Oh God, I honestly feel like it's getting a little bit worse now. Just because of GameStop and Best Buy and Walmart and Amazon. Like every one of those damn websites now has some sort of incentive for you to pre-purchase it early, which I guess that's an okay thing for it. It all depends on what it is, A, but B, I mean, you're pretty much taking a fucking gamble on whether or not the game's actually going to be good. I mean, let's take, for example, all the people who had pre-ordered Aliens, Colonial Marines.
That game was so bad.
Oh, talk about a fucking gamble on there. I feel so bad for anyone who bought that game and then are trying to tell themselves, it's a good game. No, it's an objectively shit game. Stop playing it.
It is pretty garbage. Pretty garbage
God.
Indeed. I mean, no, it's not. When I say pretty garbage, I don't mean like it's a good looking garbage. It's just it is very garbage.
It is very garbage.
but yeah, no, and it's like even the demo looked good. And then this game came out, and I saw a side by side where they showed the actual game footage compared to the demo footage.
And then you wonder what the fuck happened to this game.
I don't even know why they didn't just leave the demo exactly the same and just like add crappy stuff to the side of it. I mean, they went out of their way to make the demo levels that you played worse. But you're right. Yeah. It's you're taking a huge gamble when you pre-order a game. And there's no guarantee that any game that comes out is going to be fantastic. One thing that drives me crazy is like, Amazon will have a pre-order that's different than a GameStop pre-order, which is different than a Walmart pre-order. And a lot of times there are two of those pre-orders that I want, and I'm not going to buy the game from two different places just to get both of those things, because pretty soon that pre-order is going to be a downloadable content item that
for $10.
Yeah, for $10, which is cheaper than paying another $60 for a game before it comes out at like Best Buy.
But are you really going to buy that DLC for $10 for maybe a couple extra costumes and a weapon? Probably not.
I will say that there are only two games that I purchased the costume DLC for, and that was Batman Arkham City, and I got all the DLC for that game actually, and I also got all the DLC for Mortal Kombat except for Freddy Krueger. He just seems weird as a character to me.
Yeah, I didn't really get Krueger.
But everyone else, I mean, Rain, Scarlet, and Kenshi.
I think it's Kenshi.
I know the
blind guy, right?
Yeah, the blind guy. I think it's Kenshin because Rurouni Kenshi is it? They're not the same. Rurouni Kenshin. So I think it's Kenshi because we're not talking about Samurai X.
Watch us be completely wrong with the one viewer that we get from this.
His name is Jose, and we're like, Jose.
Oh, Jose.
Oh, I should have known it was Jose. Like,
thanks, Jose.
Kenshin has nothing to do with it.
That'll be our mascot, not us. It'll just be Jose, our imaginary viewer.
We every podcast needs a Jose.
Every podcast needs a Jose. Every one of
them. All of them.
Yep.
Those are honestly the only two games that I got the DLC for, and I don't think I've ever gotten DLC for any other game unless it was free or someone got me a gift card and then I used that gift card to get it. But like I have those are the only times I actually I physically put money down to get that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like recently I haven't been pre-ordering anything in the past couple months. Like I've just kind of over it at this point because I mean. It's not like for most of the time, I mean, I've got a Best Buy or a GameStop right down the road if I really need to go pick it up because I know damn well there are probably going to be copies of it. I mean, unless the game just doesn't sell at all for some stupid reason. But, I mean, and even for PC games, I mean, if I really wanted to, I can go to Amazon downloads. I can go to Origin. Actually, no, scratch that. I'm not going to go to Origin. Don't ever go to Origin. Please, for the love of God, don't do that.
The first rule of Origin is you don't download Origin.
Yes. And then
second rule of Origin, don't download Origin.
Yes. But, I mean, I can go to Steam. I can go to Green Man Gaming. I can go to GOG.com, which I think GOG is one of the better ones because there's absolutely no DRM attached to that game. You literally have it.
Well,
and
yeah.
You can do whatever the hell you want with it.
They did an amazing thing with The Witcher 2 was I got the first Witcher 2 and then they came out with Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings or whatever, like the more involved.
The Dark Edition?
Well, yeah, it's like, it was The Witcher 2, they just added a bunch of stuff to it and they were like, it's free to everyone that owns the original Witcher. You didn't have to pay extra for it or anything like that.
That was for the release of the Xbox 360 version.
Right, yeah.
Which had all the DLC and they were like, yeah, hey, take all this stuff for free. Who cares?
Here's our better like shading models. Here's what was it, 50 or 60 more minutes of game content and like I was
down with that.
They're like, just take it. And so we just took it.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. But it's there are a couple games that I used to pre-order a lot, but no, I think I'm in the same boat with you. I don't pre-order as much as I used to. I mean, I did pre-order the collector's edition of Guild Wars 2, because that char is flipping awesome. That is such a cool. Oh, it's so cool.
Is that the statue?
Oh yeah, it is. It is wicked. It really is. And then I did pre-order Dark Souls. And because like I had pre-ordered and they had extra like collector's editions or something like that, I was automatically upgraded to the collector's edition of the game without paying anything extra.
That's
And
awesome.
apparently, I was like the second to last person that had it because it was like basically until it ran out. So it was like a gamble.
Nice.
I didn't know I was taking a gamble. I wanted the game, and then it paid off. So like, when I think of pre-ordering and stuff like that, that's kind of neat. But I mean, other than that, I did pre-order Mortal Kombat, but I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan. But no, I'm in the same boat as you. I don't think pre-ordering. I think they're trying less to get, like, there's less of incentive to pre-order nowadays. They're just like, they're only throwing in like one $5 costume or something like that. Whereas like, I feel like before, when you'd pre-order, it would be substantial.
Yeah. I know for Colonial Marines, they had like a couple weapons and like a costume maybe or something like that. But I mean, there really wasn't like a reason to just be like, yes, I need to buy this game already, even though it isn't out yet. And I have absolutely no idea whether or not this is actually going to be amazing.
No, Colonial Marines basically punished you for getting the game because the game was so bad. Like, this is what you get for trusting us. Yeah. Ha! And then they did that. But yeah, no, it's
buyer's remorse. The game.
Everyone sues everyone for everything here in this country. So I feel like
by the way, I just want to tell you, I'm going to sue you later. Just going to warn you right now.
Oh yeah, no, I've no, I don't think that like, I'm surprised that I haven't read about like a lawsuit against Colonial Marines, especially since the demo was so much different than the actual game. And, like I said, I think I do not condone suing people. I think it's dumb, and some of the lawsuits that have been around are just ridiculous. But I mean, the demo was so different than the actual game, and the demo was supposed to be what the game's going to be like. And the fact that it was so different, it looked so different, and played so badly, I'm surprised that someone wasn't like, this isn't what I bought, and then sued them. And then I read about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, there were talks about possible false advertisement, but that didn't go through. But then there was possible embezzlement because, I mean, pretty much all that money that Sega gave Gearbox and Randy Pitchford, that jackass who I'm never going to buy another game ever again from him, they were possibly going to try and do embezzlement, but that's not going to work because, I mean, there is no actual proof that they took all the money from Sega and then put it directly into Borderlands 2. There's just, unless actual emails and correspondence and all that crap comes through, like, unfortunately, that's just not going to happen. But I mean, right now, as it is, Gearbox's reputation is utterly destroyed because of this game. Like, it is worse than Duke Nukem Forever. I mean, we all knew that game was probably going to be jack shit.
Yeah, we
all knew that.
No one had high hopes for that game, but
no game goes through development hell for like 9, 10 plus years and then comes out the other side okay.
Yeah, exactly.
The last game to do that was Too Human, and we all know what happened to them. Okay.
Oh man,
actually, do you know what happened to them?
I remember that game. What did happen to them?
Silicon Knights is no more because of that.
Wow.
And it's not even that, because remember, way back when that got released and it sold like shit because it was a shit game, Silicon Knights sued Epic Games.
That's right. Yeah,
because of
they said that they lied to them about the Unreal Engine or something like that.
They gave them a crappier version than what they were using in-house, which, kind of bullshit considering how many games are being released as an Unreal 3, at that time, Unreal 3 engine game. I mean, hell, how many games now? Like, most games today, BioShock games, the Arkham games.
Mortal Kombat was based on the Unreal Engine.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much most games nowadays, as kind of weird as that sounds, are being used in Unreal Engine. And with all that, and like, there was no actual evidence of that. And then Epic countersued and were like, you're full of shit. So you're going to pay for all this litigation money and all that crap. And they won. And because of that, Epic took all of the money. And then because of the ruling, Too Human could no longer be sold ever again. All copies of it are now sitting next to E.T. in the Nevada desert.
God, E.T.
And Silicon Knights is no more. So happy ending. Yay.
Hooray.
Hooray. And all was well.
Yeah, aside from Borderland and the Borderland games and Alien Colonial Marine. I don't know that many Gearbox games, and I was playing the first Borderlands on the PS3, and I didn't like it that much. I was just like, yeah.
That was definitely a game where if you didn't have people to play it with, it really wasn't that great of a game.
Not a lot of people are playing that game anymore.
And I would even say, yeah, the second game is even not as great of a game because of how the loot system is different. Where in the first game, loot system was you can get legendary weapons and all that stuff anywhere. It was great. I mean, hell, my first legendary weapon from that game was from a locker. And that's why I always, to this day, open up every single locker. Even though I know in Borderlands 2, that's not the case anymore. Legendary weapons drop off of bosses as if it's a Diablo game.
Oh, I see. So,
yeah.
I mean, do you have to, like, replay, like, do you have to refight bosses and stuff like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which kind of defeats the purpose of how I like to play Borderlands, where I just fucking go roam around and just start killing shit. I don't want to have to farm a boss. If I really wanted to do that, I would reinstall Diablo 3 as much as I fucking hated that game, buyer's remorse, and then play that.
You could also just play Torchlight.
Torchlight 2, you mean?
Either Torchlight. They were both really good.
Yeah, it's true. Either one.
Torchlight 2 is...
Yeah.
That game's the bleep. That is the bleep.
It is a good game. I need to go back and keep playing it.
I kill things in that game.
I know you do. You do it in real life too, don't you?
I do.
Yes, admitting on our first podcast that you like to kill people in real life.
That I'm a murderer. This is going well.
Oh, it's going so well. Son of a bitch.
My deepest, darkest secret. Well, I feel like I can say that on the first podcast because really, it's just going to be you and I pandering to everyone that we know on Facebook.
Don't do that.
Hey, you guys, you
don't do that.
You got an
Don't
hour?
do that.
I'm not going to. I'm just.
Oh God. Hopefully, we'll get people to listen to us.
One day.
Please, if you like us, for the love of God, spread the word. We're just two dudes who like to talk about games and then be lazy and then play games and talk about it some more.
I wish I was a bird so I could fly far, far away. Dear
Yes.
God, I wish I was a bird. Fly far, far, far away.
Oh, and speaking of games, did you ever watch that video for Transistor? The
Yes.
second game, to all who do not know, Transistor is the second game from Supergiant Games, and those are the people who brought you the wonderful, wonderful game Bastion.
I did. I saw it, and the game looks wicked cool. It reminded me a lot of I mean, we were talking about it earlier, but Knights of the Old Republic. How you can pause the game, and then actually like kind of come up with a strategy of how to defeat these people, and that's actually the purpose of it. Like in Knights of the Old Republic, you can really choose to pause and strategize and control the AI, but then at the same time, if you didn't really want to, you could kind of skip that aspect. But whereas this seems like you have to, which is really cool. It's really neat. And some of the things that they said, like I know how often you program. Marshall, but when you program, basically every program you ever make.
Program?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. I'm confused. I am not in the loop of this joke.
Well, no, I was just kidding. But you don't program. But
I know I don't. Not even close.
I do the program. That's how programmers call it. The programs.
Nah, I think you're bullshitting me. But go ahead.
That's French actually for program.
Is it now? Okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So
fuck it. Let's just go ahead with that.
But
program is French for program.
I don't even remember how I was saying it.
Let's just go with it.
How are the French saying it?
I don't know.
Anyway,
what are the French up to? Fuck games. Let's talk about the French.
The French. No, the very basically every single program, whenever every single introductory course, no matter what you do, the first program you always make is basically a hello world program. And it's you to get the computer to say hello world back to you. And after like you defeat the first couple people in Transistor, it pans up and shows you the world, and your sword goes hello world, which is kind of like an homage to that.
Clever.
Because and you fight processes and things like that.
Yeah, I can imagine there could be a lot of jokes like that in that game.
Yeah, I mean, but the visually it looked great, and the music was also excellent.
It's by what's her face who did a lot of the music from Bastion. So
yeah,
granted, your sword is the narrator from Bastion. So I'm glad that they're keeping those voice actors, and I'm also glad that they're kind of changing up their roles, even though the narrator's kind of still narrating, but he's actually your buddy this time, like who's with you.
And I mean, even in there, he made a comment about how they took your voice. So it almost explains why you're silent. Whereas like in Bastion, it was almost like the guy was retelling you the story that had happened, which makes sense why your character never really talked. No, I like that they actually made a point to kind of say like why you have a silent character. You know what I mean? If they didn't say anything, I would have just accepted it. But it's kind of neat how there's a reason for them to not speak.
And also gives a good reason why there's that type of music playing in the background, because that's actually your character when she originally sang.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Which I think it's all wrapped up very nice in a nice little package, and I'm just excited for that game to come out whenever the hell that may end up coming out. More than likely 2014 at the latest. So
I thought you were saying that it was coming out in May. But
no.
you're saying like possibly.
I wish it was coming out in May, but no.
Let's hope it doesn't pull a Colonial Marines and just all of a sudden like they change the color palette
don't do
and
that.
then
You're gonna jinx it, and
it's made by Gearbox, and we're like, how did this even happen? You guys were golden.
Why?
We'll see.
Don't do that.
It's too far into.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy, Josh.
I feel like if you have a negative outlook, things surprise you easier.
Even if you had a negative outlook in Colonial Marines, it wasn't going to help.
It still surprised you, but not in the way that you really wanted it to.
Yeah. You realize, wow, my expectations were so low. This game still doesn't even reach those expectations. That's how bad it was.
It was pretty low.
Yeah, it's terrible. Well, if we want, we can wind this podcast down.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like an hour is good. Or
I don't know if our future listeners would care to listen to us any more than we need to, but
I'm certain we've already lost them.
Yep, we've already lost them.
No one is listening at this point.
Imaginary viewers who are listening right now.
That's right. For anyone looking to start a podcast and they're using this one as their launching stone.
Please don't.
Yeah, this is a terrible example.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, we're probably making a lot of mistakes that we're not supposed to be doing. Like don't ever address the audience in a podcast.
Well, fuck it, call the cops. I don't give a fuck.
I feel like this has been the best part of the show. Is that the part that no one watches? I mean, listens to.
If someone out there watches this podcast and makes it to this point, my hat is off to you.
Yeah, I feel like we need to give them something. I mean, I'm not going to...
Maybe a gentleman's handshake?
Oh, yes, definitely. A gentleman's handshake.
A small hug? I don't know.
I would give them a big hug. But that's the only type of hugs I give.
No. When I mean a small hug, I mean like a hug from like a midget or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that would work. That would
be fine.
That would require some effort. It's dwarf. We'd get it from a dwarf.
That's right. I apologize to all our future dwarf listeners out there.
So they don't like midget anymore. They don't like little people.
I don't know. Current events. I don't keep up to that. I keep up to games. You know this.
I do. You know that's actually that's a handicap. You can get a handicap sticker if you're under a certain height. I think it's if you're under 4 feet, you qualify for like dwarfism and you get a handicap sticker. I mean, you can totally be normal everywhere else. You were just born with the short gene. And you drew the short stick. And you're short.
Wow. Really?
You don't have a lot of height.
We're going to end the show with that joke? Oh, my God.
I wouldn't consider it a joke.
It's more like attempt.
It's
an insult. It's an insult to our viewers.
We're going to end it with the attempt.
You're hopeless. Well, anyway, guys, I think that wraps up our very first episode of the Random Respawn podcast. I have been Marshall, and with my dear friend Josh.
Indeed. We'll have another podcast next week, and it will probably be an improvement because
no, it won't.
It'll just be just as bad. It probably will. It'll probably be worse.
We will pull an Aliens Colonial Marines. Okay?
That's right, and we will make it worse.
We will make it worse.
You didn't think it could get worse, and we're gonna make it worse. That is
all right, people.
That is part of our mission statement.
That is our mission statement. We will try and be better than Aliens Colonial Marines. And with that, we are signing off. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.